From creepy amusement parks to insane asylums, Maryland has its fair share of abandoned places. That's why today I'm going to talk to you guys about the top 10 abandoned places here in Maryland. Hi, my name is Malcolm Lawson. I'm a Maryland real estate agent, and let's just get to it. Number 10, Mallows Bay in Charles County, Maryland. Mallows Bay is the largest ship graveyard in the Western Hemisphere. It is the watery resting place of ships dating back to the Revolutionary War and more than 230 steamships from World War I. These steamships are known as the Ghost Fleet of Mallows Bay. Located on the Potomac River 40 miles south of D.C., the site was recently listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Number 9, the Forest Haven Facilities in Laurel, Maryland. Opening its doors in 1925, the Forest Haven facility was seen as a progressive institution, provided live-in care for those with intellectual disabilities. It was also a farm colony and taught their patients usable skills such as milking cows and how to grow crops. The facility started out with good intentions, but the population grew far beyond its means. Staff members were unqualified and many patients spent their days pacing empty padded rooms. Finally, in 1991, the remaining residents were relocated to more suitable facilities, and the 200-acre, 22-building compound shut its doors for good. Number 8, Fort Carroll in Baltimore, Maryland. Built in the 1850s, Fort Carroll was intended to work hand-in-hand with Fort McHenry to defend the Baltimore harbor. When the Civil War broke out, all construction on the fort halted and never resumed. The fort was manned during the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, and World War I. The Army officially abandoned the fort in 1921. Many uses for the fort have been proposed over the years, from turning it into a jail, to installing a giant "Welcome to Baltimore" sign, to building a large casino on the island. Today, the fort is a bird sanctuary and the home to thousands of migratory birds. Number 7, Holland Island in the Chesapeake Bay. Holland Island used to be the home of over 360 watermen and farmers, and at its peak had a school, shops, and nearly 70 buildings. Due to erosion and rising water levels, the island has slowly washed away, and the last residents abandoned it in 1922. The last home still standing was built in 1888 and fought erosion for well over a century. In 2010, the last remaining home on Holland Island finally collapsed. Number 6, the Enchanted Forest in Ellicott City, Maryland. The Enchanted Forest opened its doors on August 15, 1955, just 1 month after Disneyland opened their doors. The theme park revolved around common nursery rhymes and fairy tales. Although the park originally was successful with the baby boomer generation, it ultimately struggled to remain relevant in the 80s and 90s. The park was ultimately abandoned in the 1990s and left to fade away. Before we get to number 5, I just want to announce that I'll be giving away a free $20 Amazon gift card along with this video. All you have to do to enter to win is be a subscriber and like this video. I'll be announcing the winner during next month's video. Alright, let's get back to it. Number 5, National Park Seminary in Silver Spring, Maryland. Beginning as a tobacco plantation, it was converted into a wealthy resort for D.C. residents in 1887. It was later converted to an all-girls finishing school which attracted students from the wealthiest families in the area. During World War II, the grounds were purchased by the military and used to house wounded soldiers all the way up until the Vietnam War. Today, some of the abandoned campus buildings have been restored and are open to public tours. Number 4, the Glendale Hospital in Prince George County, Maryland. The Glendale Hospital opened its doors in 1934 at the peak of the tuberculosis epidemic. This hospital is where the overflow of patients from D.C. were shuttled to. At the time, the vaccine had not yet been discovered, and the tuberculosis was seen as a death sentence. The leading treatment at the time of construction was simply fresh air and sunshine, and the 23-building campus was designed with that in mind. After the tuberculosis vaccine was discovered, the need for the Glendale Hospital quickly diminished. It was ultimately converted into a nursing home and eventually abandoned in 1982. Number 3, the Springfield State Hospital in Sykesville, Maryland. Originally established as a working farm in 1778, it was sold to the state of Maryland in 1894 and converted into a hospital. Farming continued and provided a source of inexpensive food to the patients. From the start, the hospital was overcrowded and reached a peak of 3,000 patients at one point. After a scathing article in the Baltimore Sun exposed the terrible conditions of the hospital, a majority of the patients were transferred to more suitable facilities, and most of the buildings were abandoned in the 1980s. Number 2, the Jacob Tome School for Boys in Cecil County. Opening its doors in 1894, the school consisted of 3 boarding houses, an indoor pool, a theater, and much more. The school originally flourished and earned a prestigious reputation, but soon ran into financial hardships and closed its doors in 1941. It was soon after purchased by the U.S. Navy and used as trained sailors up to 1976. Today, many of the original buildings and much of the compound remain abandoned. Before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in Maryland, I would love to have a conversation with you. I'll have my contact information down in the description below, or feel free to visit my website, homesbymalcolm.com. Alright, let's get back to it. Number 1, St. Mary's College in Ellicott City, Maryland. What is also known by locals as the Hell House or Creepy College is actually the ruins of St. Mary's College. Built in 1868 to train young men in religious duties, the school abandoned the compound in the 1950s. The building soon became the subject of local legends involving satanic cults and restless souls. The old building slowly decayed until a mysterious fire burnt down what was left in 1997. In 2006, the remains of the original college was torn down, and today only a few architectural features remain, such as the abandoned altar in the woods. Thank you for watching, and if you guys have had any experiences with any of these abandoned places, or if you know of any other abandoned places that I should have included in my list, I'd love to hear your stories. Leave that in the comments section below this video. Don't forget to check me out on my other social media platforms. I upload all my videos directly to Facebook and YouTube. Just search for Selling Maryland with Malcolm. That's all for today, and I'll see you guys next month.